everyone, we are the Group 8 and today we're going to discuss about economic geography.
This is the story of economic geography. As a diverse subdiscipline within geography, there is not one single definition that can capture its entirety. Dr. Roberta Hawkins, a professor at the University of Guelph and expert in the field, explains that economic geography today involves thinking about it as interconnected with all kinds of other processes and not just economic ones. To define economic geography, we will tell the story of its evolution through its connections to historical, political, and environmental geography. First, historical and current trends observed in economic geography are rooted in colonialism. Beginning in the 16th century, the Atlantic slave trade shaped the distribution of economic activity throughout the world when millions of enslaved African people were transported to European colonies. This allowed the dominant colonial countries to increase production, aiding the development of their national economies while expanding their global import and export markets. This created an unequal division of economic wealth and power between the global north and the global south, a phenomenon also known as core versus periphery. The political economy perspective states that the evolution of places is conditioned by their positions within the territorial divisions of labor, meaning that the current and former European colonies will continuously hold more influence within the global economy. A big influence from these core countries was neoliberalism. In favor of free market capitalism and little government involvement, neoliberal policies are meant to change the nature of labor with the goal of profit maximization. The capitalist economy has become so normalized that it has created an illusion that other forms of economy are inferior. This has resulted in a trend of deregulation of labor standards and creation of free zones and sweatshops, further contributing to the uneven distribution of wealth within borders. To identify these spatial differences in the accumulation of wealth, it's important to analyze global and regional commodity chains. Due to neoliberal policies, the beginning of supply chains have producers and manufacturers that are paid very little, while large retailers profit the most. The unawareness that consumers have for where their products come from and how they are made has led to overconsumption and a need to balance economic and environmental concerns. Naomi Klein, Canadian author and activist, states that our economic system and our planetary system are now at war. Consuming the Earth's resources at an alarming rate has caused the climate crisis, global warming. Yet why don't we act now to save the future? The pain theory, invented by Harvard psychologist Daniel Gilbert, states that people choose not to deal with issues unless they are personal, abrupt, immoral, or happening now. The world has prioritized the economy rather than the environment. So what is economic geography? Economic geography describes and explains the economic processes and actions that occur in diverse spaces and places which can be historically, politically, or environmentally driven. Why should you care? Economic geography affects each and every one of us through globalization. It takes the complex world we live in and makes it easier to understand its processes, its interconnectedness, and its people. That is the story of economic geography.
So, before we're going to discuss about economic geography, let us know first what is geography. When we say geography, it is the study of Earth's landscape, people, places, and environments. And what is economy? Economy is the consumption of goods and services. And also, economy defined on how people spend money and how people make money. Kano bitaw, yun sa tao pagkita sa kwarta o yun sa tao paggasto sa kwarta. Kanang nag-exchange sila ba ang mamaligyaay o ang mamalitay. Ang mamaligyaay mo nang gakita sa kwarta o ang mamalitay mo o nang gagasto sa kwarta. Mo nang gitawag nga economy. So, ang economic geography daayon kay mao na ang physical features of the earth or economic geography is a subfield of human geography. Kaya when we say human geography, it tackles also about the places and the people, just like for the economic geography, kaya nagtakos siya po na siya sa lugar o sa mga tao. Kaya ang business is dili matawag na business kung walay lugar sa business o kung walay tao nga magpalit para ana nga business. And also, ang economic geography kaya na siya mga sub-disciplines, ang agricultural, and then so on. May balaan ninyo, tunga-tunga, aning video.
Agricultural geography is a sub-discipline of human geography concerned with the spatial relationship found between agriculture and humans. that is the study of the phenomena and effects that lead to the formation of Earth's top surface and different regions. So, ang geography of agriculture kina siya kanang domain bitaw na ga-intellect or ga-instructural na naay kinalaman sa spatial na makita nato sa pagitan sa agrikultura ug sa mga tao. Ang geography of agriculture is defined siya as the study of geographical and locational attributes. Kaya ang agricultural geography manggod is kanang ga-provide siya og basic information sa any various types sa agriculture. Sama ang earth surface, substances, commercial and horticulture. Ug kini usa ka proseso sa mga pag-uma, mga tanom or mga hayop na or kanang mga any type sa like ga-cropping bitaw sa kanang mga soils or inana like sama jud anang pag-uma. That is one of the example jud. So agricultural geography is also kanang talakay pud sila sa mga physical na kapaligiran, like pang-ekonomiyang pag-uugali ng pag-uugali at mga pangangailangan at gayon din sa mga impluensyang institusyonal at panlipunan. So if you guys remember the report of Group 7 about sa agricultural geography, di ba ana to sila sa report nila na ang agricultural geography kay kanang ga-practice siya, ang agriculture kay ga-practice siya of cultivating crops and raising livestock for food, and indeed it was truly true. Why? Kay it was really originated independently na multiple regions around the world. And ang agriculture jud is isa gid siya sa ato like primary source gid nato siya naga-consume sa ato og pagkaon.
So now, let's proceed to the geography of industry. Ang geography of industry kinana siya 3 types: the primary, secondary, and the tertiary industry. One would say primary industry is tackles about the raw materials na diretso na lang dayon ka makakita og kwarta. Kay one would say primary mo na ang mga business na without process na siya kay diretso na siya ginabaligya.
This occupation. The first thing a crop farmer does is plough the land by moving it around. Then seeds are planted, and after the necessary time, the fruits are harvested, which means collected once they have ripened. There are 2 types of cropping: dry farming and irrigation farming. Dry farming grows only with rainwater, like wheat or almonds. Irrigation farming is watered artificially because crops need more water than dry farming, like tomatoes or rice. Forestry consists of the cultivation, care and exploitation of woodland and hills. Thanks to forestry, products such as wood or firewood are collected, but it also helps to investigate on how to protect nature, something completely fundamental for all living things in order for the whole planet to have a good environmental quality.
Just like for example, ang isda. Kay kung ang mangingisda, makakuha rin siyang isda, yaring ibaligya ang isda, makakwart na nadaayon siya. Without any process, kay wala naman siya gigamitan o mga mamahalon kay nga mga technology para gamiton ana. Or wala na siya gigamitan mga process. Kay when we say magamit ang process, daara na daayon na siya sa secondary industry. Kay kung may tag secondary industry, it is comes from the raw materials. Mo ni ang mga products na gina-process pa nagikan sa raw materials. And then when we say tertiary industry, mo ni ang gahatag og service. Just like for example, a doctor. Kaya ang ang doktor gahatag ng serbisyo sa katawhan. Dagan pa example sa tertiary industry, basta lang ka na sila is gahatag na silang serbisyo sa katawan, kaya ang tertiary industry mo nang gahatag og service. So mao na ang tulo ka types sa geography of industry: primary industry, secondary industry, and tertiary industry. So let's proceed to another.
Geography of transportation. Transportation geography is a branch of economic geography that studies transportation and all aspects related to it and the geography of an area. This means that it examines the transportation or movement of people, goods, and information in or across different regions. So, ang geography of transportations is ang geography sa transportasyon mao'y usa ka sanga sa ekonomikanhong geografiya nga nagtuon sa transportasyon o sa tamang aspekto nga may kalabutan niini og sa geografiya sa usa ka lugar. Kini nagpasabot nga kini nagsusi sa transportasyon o paglihok sa mga tao o sa mga butang o impormasyon sa lain-laing mga rehiyon. So example, mga jeep, personal cars, vehicles, internet, and airplanes. And that's all.
Geography of services. A service is any activity that fulfill a human want or need and returns money to those who provide it. Ang geography services is bisan unsa nga way nga makahatag sa gusto ug sa kinahanglan sa usa ka tawo. Kini pod siya is interaction between seller and buyer. So, ang example ani is a market, a situation in which the exchange of goods and services take place as a result of buyers and sellers interacting with one another. So, through the market, buyers spend while sellers earn an income. So, in sorting out where services are distributed in space, geographers see a close link between services and settlements because services are located in settlements. So, kung asa daw kuno ang daghan tao dito po daghan ang services, klase-klase na service na maka-provide sa needs and wants sa mga tao. So, as settlements is a place where people live.
Internet geography. Internet geography, also called cybergeography, is a subdiscipline of geography that studies the spatial organization of the internet from social, economic, cultural, and technological perspectives.
So this is Maria Joanie Diampok, and these are the main differences of economics and economic geography.
How do economics and geography meet? There are some very simple ways in which geography affects economics. For example, long distance and difficult terrain affect the ability to distribute goods, while factors like climate might affect the kind of goods and services that people want. The economy refers to the production, consumption, and distribution of goods and services in a specific region, while economics is the study of how individuals and societies allocate resources to satisfy their wants and needs. An ecosystem is an area that includes all the biotic, living organisms, parts such as plants and animals, and the abiotic, non-living, such as soil, rocks, and climate, sharing an environment. Internet geography has been around for over 15 years. The author of Internet Geography is Anthony Bennett, a senior leader in an academy in England. Generally, spatially interested economists study the effects of space on the economy. Geographers, on the other hand, are interested in the economic processes, impact on spatial structures. Moreover, economists and economic geographers differ in their methods in approaching spatial economic problems in several ways.
So first is the Homo economicus and Homo geographicus. Homo economicus, it refers to an economic concept. Ito ay isang theoretical na representasyon ng tao sa ekonomiya, kung saan inaasahan na magdedesisyon ng rasyonal upang mapabuti ang sariling interes. Halimbawa, ang isang Homo economicus ay inaasahan na pipili ng pinakamataas na kalidad na produkto sa pinakamahabang presyo upang mapabuti ang kaniyang sariling kapakinabangan, while Homo geographicus is a term that is not as commonly used or standardized as some other terms in social sciences. However, maaari ituring ito bilang tumutukoy sa geographical o special na aspeto ng pag-uugali ng tao, lalo na kung paano nakikipag-ugnayan ang mga tao at kung paano sila naapektuhan ng kanilang kapaligiran. Halimbawa nito ay isang tao na interesado sa kanyang kalagayan sa geografiya, kultura at iba pang aspeto ng kanyang lugar. Maaari ito ang kasaysayan, isang tagapagtanggol ng kalikasan o isang individual na masigasig sa pagsusulong ng turismo sa kanyang rehiyon. And the second example is markets have locations and geography is influencing supply and demand. Certainly, markets often exhibit geographic influences on supply and demand. Halimbawa, ang geografiya ay malaki ang epekto sa mga merkado ng seafood, kung saan ang mga baybayin ay nakakaranas ng mas mataas na supply at mas mababang presyo dahil sa mga mababang gastos sa transportasyon. And the second example of economic and geography is people and firms are competing on markets where supply and demand reach on equilibrium. Equilibrium occurs when supply and demand are equal, allowing people and firms to establish fair prices for goods and services at a specific price point. Ang merkado ng smartphone ay labanang nagaganap sa pagitan ng tagagawa upang magbigay ng kinakailangang dami at nakakamtan ang kaluwagan kapag ang inialok ay tumutugma sa kahilingan. Ang mga pag-aksya o sobra sa supply ay maaaring magdulot ng kakulangan o sobra na maaaring magtulak ng pag-a-adjust ng presyo. And the third example of economic is the market economy operates according to laws and principles. A market economy operates according to laws of supply and demand and is guided by principle of competition. Isang halimbawa ay ang merkado ng teknolohiya kung saan ang mga kumpanya ay naglalaban para sa mga mamimili na nagtutulak ng presyo at inobasyon batay sa mga pwersa ng merkado. And the third example of economic and geography is laws and principles are disrupted by geographical, social, and political factors. So when geographical, social, and political factors disrupt the laws and principles of a market, it can lead to market inefficiencies or distortions. Halimbawa nito ay ang mga parusa sa kalakalan na ipinatutupad sa isang bansa. Karaniwang o nagbubunga ng hindi karaniwang takbo ng kalakaran at pagsira sa mga prinsipyo ng malayang kalakalan. And the fourth example of economics is universalism. Laws and principles work everywhere. Universalism is a belief or concept that certain laws, principles, or values are applicable and valid everywhere, regardless of cultural, societal, or geographical differences. These are considered to be fundamental and unchanging across diverse contexts. Halimbawa, ang prinsipyo ng grabidad ay isang universal ng konsepto. Ito ay umiiral ng pare-pareho sa lahat ng dako ng Earth at sa labas nito, anuman ang kultura o rehiyon. And the fourth example of economic and geography is geographical diversity challenges universalism. It can pose challenges to universalism because different regions may have unique environmental, cultural, or social factors that influence how certain principles are interpreted or applied. Isang halimbawa ay ang mga sistema ng batas. Ang mga batas na epektibo sa isang geographical o kultural na konteksto ay maaaring hindi magdudulot ng magandang resulta sa iba dahil sa pagkakaiba ng mga norma o kasaysayan ng lipunan.